almost a playoff atmosphere surrounding the game between these two bitter opponents.
It's the Jaguars going up against the Texans.
With that, let's welcome in our fine broadcast team. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, thanks, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas at NRG Stadium in Houston. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. The former national champion at Clemson bringing him onto the field, and that's the signal caller, Deshaun Watson.
In his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. Staying on the ground with Mack. And right away he lost the football. And the Jags grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Pretty darn good, as you see right there on your screen.
I'll echo that. Darn good. 2 touchdowns, right? And the ability to be in sync with each other, right? To understand that he's going to be where the quarterback expects him to be when the ball's thrown.
They'll set up to throw.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the problem. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Personally, for him, a great opening drive. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown.
That felt like tremendous scouting, great film watching, and creating a game plan to start this off, not only to get him involved, but to send a message to the defense. You have a lot to handle in this one.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Now a carry from Mack, and he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
If you're the coaching staff upstairs, you might want to file that play away. Did you see how fast the safety closed on that one? Coming up in run support, made a big-time tackle. I want to try and check into a pass next time.
Yeah, got him for a loss. Really, really great play defensively. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
And on 3rd and 3, they decided to go with a dime package. Yeah. 6 DBs.
Yeah, you're right. They've got 6 out there. From the gun, here's Watson. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
And that's understanding where the markers are, because it's not just running to them. Because on the catch, you can actually be pushed back before the first down. It's getting past it and allowing that opportunity to drift back towards the first down line and still having picked it up. Really well run. Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
Watson off play action. Going deep for Hopkins. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they'll be looking to make this a 2-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
Well, never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
They'll set up a throw. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Grover Stewart with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case.
Alongside the former defensive back Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Jaguar football as we begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 yards on the gain there, so he got half of it back. And it'll be 3rd down.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
He got 29 yards that time. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up the first down.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
That would have been a great catch, but it was real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Forced out to his left. And avoids the contact by sliding. The improv act there, good for 9. And now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. Off to back the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Only a yard in the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Looking to throw. Got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. They keep it on the ground. Mack again. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Carl Lawson able to use that strength and get him for a loss of 2. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. Coming up at halftime, remember, Orlando for highlights and analysis of this first half. That is, of course, unless you decide to skip him.
And for the record, we do not encourage that.
And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And that is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. Here's Jackson. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And now out come the Jags. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Hoping now to get back in the end zone on his 4th possession. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Definitely worth taking another deep shot here. He's already found the end zone twice here in the first half.
Yeah, go back to that same well. They've had trouble containing him, but able to contain him on that play. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The Jaguars on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 7. It's caught, blocked it. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, if there's going to be casualties at times, we're trying to win a game.
And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Carl Lawson in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0 as we send you on over to Orlando, where we'll check in with Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports halftime report. Larry?
All right, Brandon, back to you guys in a minute. But first, it's indeed time for our EA Sports halftime report. The Texans are behind right now, but the home crowd should give them a boost. The Jaguars have come in and looked good as the road team.
And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. This is taken at the 3. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Grover Stewart with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
They'll drop the throw. They'll drop it off to McCaffrey. And nothing but daylight ahead. Touchdown, Jaguars. A great effort there. An 80-yard touchdown. And the Jaguars add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this third quarter. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drop
under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, when defensive coordinators game plan to put pressure on a quarterback, they often want to use blindside rushes, and that's exactly what they did there. The cornerback gets to him and drops him.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Now Mack. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Come on, let's go.
Third and long. It's Watson. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. That one goes for 29 yards on third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
They'll run with Mack. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, he'll force the incompletion.
Yeah, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. And bulldozing is what? Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They are excited about where they are in this game.
So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, look, credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
That one goes for 24 yards. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Back to throw now on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Bernardrick McKinney in from his linebacker's spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Now back to throw. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A nice pickup there, 19 yards. And they're set up better for third. Great change up there on the route and got that inside release, made it a successful pitch and catch.
Well, the first thing you want to do is have him thinking that you're going outside, make a move in that direction. Then you really don't run the route against the whole body of the defender. You run against a half of him, and the inside half, and he took it right across his face, got inside, and won that route in a big way. Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground. Now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
All right, here we go. 3-19. Detroit! Detroit! No. Check. Patriot!
They're going to look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Now McManus on to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in there.
And the Jags get to him as down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Let's go! 38!
To throw on second is Watson. And he's got it over the middle. Fedorowicz. A big hit. Knocked down sideways. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner.
Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Watson to throw on 3rd and 1. Benjamin with it over the middle. Good gains there back-to-back for Houston in the passing game and another first down. Pretty good location there on that throw.
It really was, wasn't it? That was likely one where the receiver was either going to catch it or no one. Really good decision. And, boy, what a catch and move right there.
In a tough spot to get it over the middle. Watson now to throw. Right side, caught Fedorowicz. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running, just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the fourth quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production. But how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
Back to throw, Watson. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second.
Well, that wasn't exactly a work of art, was it?
No, that wasn't a thing of beauty. That's just why I don't play in points per reception fantasy leagues.
Is that what they call
receiver still gets a point there? Yeah. And you went that far back. No bueno.
Well, I'll tell you what. I wish I had their defense on my fantasy game.
They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says try something different. Try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try and get this offense kick-started.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And his kick is right there. It's good. And that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment, and to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that's a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Now it's Watson. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Now before the second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. Again, it's Watson. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
Here we go.
To the air yet again, Watson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Come on, let's go. 38.
Now a first down throw, Watson. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Throwing again is Watson. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Jaguars, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they will head home next week to take on the LA Chargers. Meanwhile, for Houston, they suffered defeat for the first time as they dropped to 2-1. And they'll get a home date next week against the Kansas City Chiefs.